Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello. This is Will. Welcome, everybody.
Hi.
Everybody. Frank, Jack, Sainted Sinners are here. How are you guys doing? How's everybody?
We are fine.
Well, all good. All good.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So
having a glass of Italian red wine.
I got Italian white wine, so we having a good. In Italy, this is the aperitivo moment that we eat later on at 9 o'clock. So I took the chance to go back to normality and having a drink with my friends.
There you go. Exactly, Jack. The beauty that is how deep Sainted Sinners has inspired me for me to create that video for you guys.
Great, thank you so much for the video.
Thank you so much.
It's
included all the songs, so there's not a song that you don't like, which is great. it doesn't happen so often to have somebody who likes the whole album.
Absolutely. Oh, I love the whole album. I've been listening to the band's music for ever since I first received it, and every day for 7 days a week. Wow. I fire up my system here, and I go do some video editing or music or something. I always put on Sainted Sinners because it makes me feel so good.
Yeah.
Good. That's what it's all about. Meaning, Frank will be explain it better than me. But that's the aim of Sainted Sinners.
Exactly. Yeah. Actually, here at home it's the same, because my two girls, my wife and my daughter, they also love the album so much. So, no matter if I'm here down in the studio teaching, if I come up and there's music running, it's always the album.
They will know the lyrics better than me at the end.
Oh God. Well, so probably a lot of the streams for the album on Amazon Music are thanks to my girls because
it's a family business. It's a
That's
family
right.
business.
Beautiful.
It's a family business. Every little helps.
So what is the history that could be talked about? What is the history of Sainted Sinners?
Well, the band was formed in 2016, and it happened basically. The reason for me was I just joined Bonfire, which is a quite known German band, hard rock band, melodic metal, whatever you want to call it. And I totally enjoy my position in Bonfire, being basically the lead guitar player, contributing also creative material in sense of songs or riffs. But Bonfire is a band that existing very long, and the leader of the band, Hans, he is obviously the guy who knows how Bonfire has to sound. And it was important for me to have a band on my own where I can just totally, do whatever I want creativity, from the creativity point. Because, if you have a band, and Jack will know from the Tigers, if you have a band with a history, they have a certain sound, and you cannot go totally in different directions.
See me smile.
Yeah, and that's cool. Honestly, I never would want to change the sound of Bonfire in any ways. It has to be like this, like it is, and I can contribute my part to it. But if it comes to really writing songs, just from jamming out of the feeling, just playing guitar and coming up with riffs, it's more like the music we do with Sainted Sinners, what comes up for me, and so that was basically the reason why I formed Sainted Sinners, because I wanted a band where I can just play what comes out naturally for me, because that's basically the way I prefer to write songs. It's just jamming on the guitar, on the couch, wherever in the studio, and coming up with the riff, and then wow, this is cool. Then coming up with the next riff, oh, they fit together. Then come up with the next riff. Then maybe hearing a melody in my head, and then the song is quite quickly finished, or not the finished song, but the basic arrangement. Let's say like this. And I love working like this, just letting it flow. And that's basically the reason I formed Sainted Sinners. And the guy I started Sainted Sinners with is Percy Hillerman, the drummer from Hungary, Budapest. And we worked together in a Deep Purple tribute band. And when we played the first show in this band, we clicked immediately. I loved Percy's drumming style, and we always talked about doing some of our own music, besides a tribute band. And so he was the guy basically I sent my first riff ideas to. He sends back with drums, and it never changed. That kind of working process never changed from back then, because it's still like this. And yeah, then on bass we had Malte Frederick Burkert, a German guy who also played with us in the Italian.
And you can see some smoke coming out. Yeah, he's smoking.
Yes, I am.
How do you do? Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you.
Actually, we
So
were
here we
talking about the keyboard position and how the keyboard players got fired in the band. So
Yeah. It's my last meeting. Then bye everyone.
No, so to continue, Malte, he played with us in the Deep Purple tribute band, and he joined. And in Bonfire, I worked together with a singer, David Rees, and you probably know him because you're an Accept fan. So he was part of Accept for a short time, during the 80s, I think. And yeah, and he was the singer of the band. Okay, and yeah, that was the first lineup. Oh, sorry, I forgot the keyboard player. The keyboard player was Ferdi Dernberg, a German guy I did know before. We never played before, but I did know him from some live shows, and he was the keyboard player for the first album. And we put out an album which was self-titled and was very well received. You know, people talked about supergroup. I think, you know, it's, yeah, supergroup, whatever. Was some guys from bands that some people know, so like a project band or whatever you want to call it. But I did never see it like this. I always wanted this to be like a real band, you know. And however, you know, the first guy that was out of the band after the first time was the keyboard player, because I think he saw it more like a project. He was not so much into the vibe, and so we did a second album a year later, which was basically without a fixed keyboard player, but we had two guys, you know, doing some keyboards, but it was a much less keyboard oriented album than the first one. The first one had much more of the, let's say,
sorry.
Hi. Now I see you 2 times.
I don't know what happened.
He's a minion. He's gonna be more and more and more and more. He's gonna conquest the whole video.
Yet never enough of keyboard players.
Yeah.
Of course. And so we put out a second album called Back with a Vengeance, which was more guitar oriented than the first one. Had less keyboards, but still some of the keyboard vibes from the first one. And yeah, and after the second album, the singer David Rees, he basically announced that he would like to concentrate on his solo career. And yeah, and at this point for me it was like, yeah, let's say I had to, you know, let's Sainted Sinners, you know, go on hiatus for a while, let's say like this, because there was so much work and effort put into the band, and then you put out a second album, and after this you just put out the record, and then, you know, this situation was, you know, we didn't have a fight or something, but it was just something where I had to say, okay, I need a break, you know, because it was really much work put into this, and we made 2 good albums, I think. And yeah, and basically end of 2019 I started thinking about, you know, doing another Sainted Sinners album again, because I had some ideas coming, as I said, while jamming, you know, very spontaneous, that I thought would fit for another Sainted Sinners album. And then obviously I had to think who will be part of the band. And so luckily I found this great lineup. You know, some of the guys I did play with before, like Ernesto, we played together with Ian Pace. Jack I met during some Tigers shows where I was guest, and we had a small talk backstage. And to be honest, I was always a huge fan of his voice. And when I formed Sainted Sinners, he was like circulating in my mind, you know, maybe could be the singer, but obviously I had more connection to David because he was also the singer of Bonfire. So there was I had the contacts, you know, it was easier to get David involved than to reach out to other people. And Rico, honestly, I never played with him before, but I met him in Hamburg during a show backstage, and we talked, you know, there was immediately a good chemistry between us, sympathy, you know, we had a nice chat, and he told me what he did musically, and was very impressive, obviously, the guys he worked with before. And yeah, So as you know, it was sort of a risky thing on one side, because you never know, even if everybody separately is a great musician, but you never know if the chemistry will work in the end, you know. But luckily luckily it worked out, and it worked so great that we put out, I think it's definitely our best album so far. And I never heard anything else than people saying, wow, this is the top Saint and Sinners album. And
it's so strange, because it's a different, if you listen to the previous Saint and Sinners albums, they're obviously you can hear Frank's playing and Bercy playing, but they're different, because, and that's the other thing. The great thing about Frank is that if he has in mind, when he writes, I think he has in mind how he has a vision of the full song, and he knows, and I think he knows, even though it's not, he doesn't share his thought, he knows how the song should sound like in the end. And I think for the first two Saint and Sinners album, he had the David Rees was the perfect choice, because the songs were fitting his voice more than anything else. With this other album, the thing that amazes me was the fact that when we got in touch and he sent me the songs, I felt immediately comfortable. It was like they were being written, and these songs were waiting for me to sing it. That's the impression I had. And the other thing is that he sent me songs with a structure, and basically we didn't touch anything. There was everything was right. There was not. I said to him, "Are you open if I asked to make the verse longer or shorter, or to add things like that?" And he said, obviously, Frank was very open, but there was no reason. Every song had no edits, because they were perfectly structured, which is another thing that doesn't happen very, very often. There's a lot of I've been playing with people, with other fantastic musicians, but sometimes they don't have a song structure. They kind of they're like big riffs, nice chorus, but they don't know how to put everything together in the right position. While with Frank, that didn't happen, and that was like ooh, that's good. That's easy, and I have to say it was easy. It was easy, and that was also the good thing about recording this album. It was not. I didn't have to think too much. I just had to be myself, and it paid off, because so far I'm receiving so many good comments about my delivery on the album, which is great, because I actually did exactly what I wanted. It's me. It's not, as Frank was saying, me thinking how to use my voice to fit a particular sound or anything. It's just honestly me. And it's great.
Yeah, that's always very important for me. I want to have the creativity from everybody in the band, because I think then it feels like a real band, And this is the first time in Saint and Sinners I have the real feeling. The five of us, we are Saint and Sinners, because everybody brings in his input, And I think that the songs can just be better if everybody can really feel them by contributing what he thinks the song could be, So with no disrespect to the old guys, they are all fantastic players. David is a great singer, but we are much stronger now as a band, and because everybody, we all go the same road together. We all think kind of like the same when it comes to our own music, because we're totally open-minded. If you hear a song like Stone Cold Sober with the middle part, with the piano solo, it's going like disco groovy. you don't hear, that's not an average thing you do in a hard rock song, you know, because basically it's a straightforward hard rock song. But I think we're saying that Sinners, we can do this because we do it from a naturally point. It don't has to be faked, or it doesn't have to be like, okay, we have to do something totally different now to make the people realize we can play also other styles of music. It's just in our blood, you know. And to be honest, you know, with this theme we have going since the first album, the essence of rock and roll, this is what rock and roll is about, to be open-minded and to have influences from all different styles, you know. And yeah, so just happy about the album and our band. You know, we have such a good chemistry, and
he's happier than us. Meaning, look at it. That's the best advertise for the album. So having him laughing and smiling and be, you know, just put like one song from Saint Cecilia's and have you laughing and say it's great, and people will buy it.
That's it. Because I feel it. I know. Oh man. The feeling and the truth, like I was saying to Frank earlier, the feeling and the truth and the honesty in the riff changes, the keyboard sections, Jack, your vocals, it's just, it truly is, I can't even talk. It truly is the dawn of a new age to me. Not only just because it's a new year, it's a new focus. Hopefully, it's a new year and a new focus, new determination. It's just a dawn of a new age, and the music of Sainted Sinners is part of that. And it's powerful and it's truth. When power and truth come through the music, can touch the human heart and the human soul, it's magic, it's sacred, it's beautiful. And
wow. Thank you.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I'm not just saying that, you know, to butter the band or anything. I'm saying because it's the truth. I can't. You can't make up this kind of stuff. You know, it's so honest.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, you're right. And we have the age that we've been there. We try to be. We've been in what they call, you know, let's do like some kind of smart project where we put this and this and we mix and match things, and then it's going to be a success. And it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because you need, as you say, the music has to be a total expression of yourself. It cannot, meaning then you can, sometimes you have to, well, at least this is my experience. Sometimes you have to be like a musician, have to go through the same experience as an actor. Obviously, an actor, when he gets to do a movie, he has to be himself, but at the same time, he have to play his part. So you have to find a right balance between be truthful and be credible, in a say, meaning, and at the same time play a part and stick to the, you know, to what's written in the in his part. And
like Chuck Norris. Sorry. Okay, I
that's typical Ernesto. That's typical Ernesto. We love him for that. We love him for that. And but it's fantastic when you don't this kind of work and this kind of attitude, this kind of you put yourself in that position very naturally, and that's what happened. At least for me, for Sainted Sinners, I didn't have to play a part. I didn't feel like I had to stick to a part. I felt like I can be myself because I'm totally comfortable. and this it doesn't happen so often. It doesn't happen, and it doesn't, and especially with musicians who didn't know since then if they would match together, and so it's like a double bonus because it wasn't expected.
No.
It wasn't absolutely expected, and I think it's the same thing with Ernesto. I mean, Ernesto played a key role in some of the songs because his input was really important in terms of giving the vibe, the right vibe to the song. I'm talking about Hammer of the Gods or Farewell to Kings. Those two songs have a very Ernesto contribution was crucial because he gave the feeling, the emotion feeling that we had to follow, and that was great.
Yeah.
Well, I have.
Thank you.
I have some for the viewers in the chat right now. They are talking, and I would like to see what they are saying because I know all these names and they're all good people. So I just want to say hi real quick because to the good folks in the chat, because without them, I would not have a show.
Say greetings from us.
Well, Dale Palmer, how is everybody? How's everybody doing today? Greetings from saints and sinners all over Europe.
Yeah.
Hello.
Ciao.
Take care. Be safe. Be healthy. Buy our album. You will go to heaven for this.
Both for Stone Cold Sober.
Ninja, what's going on, man? Welcome. This is Saints and Sinners from Europe. Hey, Jay Steen. Nocturnal Butterfly is here. How are you, Sandra Lee? Thank you for being here today. This is Saints and Sinners from Europe.
Cool. Nocturnal Butterfly. That's a cool name.
Yeah, she's a good person, Sandra Lee. She helped me out a lot when I first started out. She did an audio voiceover for me, and I'll always be beholden to her and her husband for that. The broadband's up in Canada.
Okay.
Let's see. That's a great detail. Another day above dirt. Always a plus. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's the truth.
It's neat.
Especially if you think how many great musicians died last year or this year even, so.
Already.
That was a real shock, honestly. I never,
Luckily, you feel good, Frank.
Huh?
Luckily, you still feel good.
Wait till we're on tour, my friend.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Way, I would say that it was a pleasure to work with you.
Likewise.
Guys.
And because you're still in the band, we can work on, my friend. You will get.
Thank you for not firing me.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think I wrote it somewhere. You will be the last guy in the band who gets fired. So I will fire myself before I fire you. No.
Thank you, mate.
To be honest, nobody ever got fired in the band.
Not yet.
No, but it's a joke.
Not yet.
It's a joke between us. It's a joke between us, but because may I say something rude in this chat or not?
Rude?
Because there's a fairy tale about keyboard player that usually they say a keyboard player is like condom. It's something that maybe you don't want it, but you need it. That's the point. So that's why you're maybe the first that the other member think about firing you.
Well, let me say actually what I wanted to do.
Sorry.
You know, we crash your show. We not the wedding crashes, the show crashes.
I'm glad you're here. This is
Pardon me?
beautiful. I love you guys. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. I would like, would it be okay if everybody introduces themselves and gives a brief background of themselves for the people in the chat?
Sure.
Well, yes, I'm Jack. I'm 52. My God. I've been playing since a long time, and I'm the singer of Tigers of Pantang since 2004, which to me seems yesterday, but it's not yesterday. It's a long time. It's becoming a long time. I'm the long-serving singer from Tigers, which is no matter how good I am, but still I've been I've been there more than anybody else, and that's probably the most the most notable thing in my career. Then I've been playing several bands, and I'm still playing several bands here in Italy. I have different projects I've been working on. Everyone different, because just as Frank said, I'm a music maniac. So I love so many different styles of music. I'm into so many different styles of music that sometimes a band is not enough to express myself. And sometimes I think I think of myself a bit like musically like Robin Williams. I'm over the top. Sometimes I'm a bit too over the top and too much. But I can't stop writing. I can't stop singing, and I need constantly new excitement in music, and that's actually what brought me to Sainted Sinners, probably because when Frank asked me if I would be interested in listening to his new stuff, I was there. I immediately said yes. Why not? Perfect timing. It was during last year lockdown in April, and I said, just as I said to you before going online, basically Sainted Sinners album saved my life, because it made me it gave me a goal. It gave me a goal, something to a good reason to wake up every morning during the lockdown, and to stick in front of the computer and to listen to the music and write lyrics and get inspired, and that's something really. It's something that is really difficult to explain, but I keep saying that there's nothing that makes me feel better when you wake up, you start working, and all of a sudden within 24 hours you have a song that wasn't there 24 hours before. So and you contributed to create and you feel like honored, and you feel like fulfilled with joy, because you have created something that you're proud of. And it's like being a craftsman, but and that was it. That made my day. That made my days, worth waking up and working. So Sainted Sinners, and probably that's the reason why that's in that element is in the songs, probably that joy and excitement.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's me basically. And then you got the Italian Stallion, who's
It's my turn.
who had to decide if continue working as an Italian Stallion in the porn world, or
By the way, yeah. No, I think I quit because I'm 44 now. It's not easy. Go on.
You're too young. You're too young for the band. You're too young for the band. Can you
Yeah,
believe
but
this guy is the youngest guy in the band? It's not fair. It's not fair.
Actually, it's not.
Yeah, but porn,
Huh?
it's a difficult profession. And now I do it like just for pleasure, just for fun, not more like a work, right? Yes, my girlfriend is smiling.
Hello, Stella.
But
Hello.
by by the way, I'm Ernesto Getzi, and I play the keyboards. And like Jack, I like different, many styles, many kind of music. Of course, I love rock music, and especially this project. It's great because since the first time with Frank was this great chemistry, and we play together. And we play our instruments like talking each other. Like I say something with my hands, and you say something to me, with your hands, and it was magic, right, Frank?
Exactly.
And yeah, and after that, Frank is a very smart guy because once he gave me the songs, he just said, "Feel free to play whatever you have in your mind," and that's what I did. And I think 100% what I played, he said, "Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it," and I was like, now I play something, not good for for understand if you love it, even it's horrible or not. But then I think it's not the case. By the way, this chemistry between us was really magic since the first moment I met this guy. And yeah, I come from classical music. I started with the piano, and since a lot of years I studied classical music. And then when I was 13, 14, I tried to play even other kind of music like rock music, and then jazz music, funky, many stuff. And that's it. I play with Gotthard, that is a hard rock man from Swiss, and I play with some pop Italian artists. It's more in the business side, and well, that's it. That's my life. And I play with Santa Singers, of course.
Well,
No words.
I'm from, and
I left you with no words. Sorry? What you said, Frank?
I said I'm Frank, and I'm the youngest in the band because I'm 43.
Oh, sorry, Frank. Oh, God. Sorry.
Yes, I knew.
I'm fired now. I am
But I knew
fired
that.
now. Oh, my God, I'm fired.
No.
I've done the worst thing ever.
I thought you were joking. Joking, Jack.
No.
You're the youngest.
Hard life.
Yeah. So it's your turn, Frank. Feel free.
My picture is frozen at the moment. I'm not sure. You see me?
Yeah.
Okay. For me, the
No.
picture was frozen.
I can see you. I can hear you.
I started actually also with the piano when I was 8, I think, and I think I was not that bad because I took like the music school. You could go either the mathematic or music way on the to choose for school. What you would call high school probably, or was for us kind of like this. You could go this or this way. So I took the music way, and I played piano, and I loved it up until it became like a school thing, because then it was like you have to play this, you have to play this,
Wow.
you have to play that, and I totally wanted to play different music, So that for some reason took the fun I had playing the piano away from me, because I was forced to play some things which maybe today I would enjoy, but back then it was not my thing, And so I had to find for myself another instrument where I just could be my own boss. Nobody would tell me what to play. And obviously, when you're I think I was 14 or something, when I took my first prize on a guitar, it was a beaten up acoustic guitar, which I just tried to find to play some notes of, And but it was my thing, and with around 16, I think I took it more seriously. I got my first electric guitar, and then yeah, started to play rock and roll songs. And I never had a lesson, so it was basically, I'm totally self-taught when it comes to guitar. Yeah. But obviously I had the advantage of knowing, you know, I could read music because of my piano playing. I had some understanding of you know, theory, whatever. So obviously that helps if you want to teach yourself, you know. And you know, back then it was like you had all these VHS tapes from concerts and you were rolling them and back to solo again. What does Richie Blackmore play here, or what does Jimmy Page play there? You know, so kind of figuring out what they do, what sort of like this. And yeah, and I think with around 20, 21, I thought that's what I want to do for my life. And obviously it was hard to get any money, you know, being nobody basically. So I had one friend that asked me to give him some lessons on guitar, and he told another friend, hey, this guy is kind of cool. He shows you a Metallica riff or shows you a Guns N' Roses riff. Take some lessons from him. There was the next guy, and there was the next guy. So it was kind of word of mouth going on, getting me some guitar students. And that always helped me that I could basically play the music I wanted to play. So I never had to play, you know, obviously I played in a Deep Purple tribute band, and I also played sometimes for maybe a year or so in a rock cover act to get some money, but never too long. It was never my main band. I always had for the creativity, I had my own bands. I always, you know, I think I could play like 4 chords, power chords, obviously, and had my first band. And we wrote a, boy, it sounded like punk, probably, because we couldn't be any better, but we tried to do our...
we all coming, even though with slight different age, you know, difference in age, but we're all coming from the same, I would say, generation, where if you started playing, the first thing you wanted to do is to try and play your own songs. There was no tribute or cover band, you know. There was idea. You either play, if you go to a show, if you're a nobody, you would play your own song and a couple of covers just because you like the songs, you know. And I remember my first concert way back in 1984, and obviously I played some covers, but at that concert I played like I think 4 or 5 original songs to an audience that didn't know anything about me, anything so about the band. Which
so much better than my first show. Huh? So much better than my first show, mate.
But that was it. And the curious thing is that I have the recordings of my first show. So, and it's quite embarrassing. It's quite embarrassing.
Me too.
But the good thing, and I can tell a story about the keyboard player. Let me tell you this. Okay.
No,
so
come on.
it was a 5-piece band. We had a keyboard player, but obviously the keyboard player was meant to play several songs, and in other songs he didn't have to play, basically, but he felt obviously it didn't felt right to go on and off stage, so he stayed there pretending to write, but didn't tell the mixing guy to turn off his volume while he was playing, fake playing the songs he didn't know. So I have these recording when you have songs with keyboards and they're all right, and then there are songs without keyboard and he going it's like terrible.
And I had a pink flu shirt.
Ooh.
Really? We want to see pictures of this.
Have you got photos? Have you got?
Yeah, I can send you some. And yeah, but not for free.
Yeah, and from 21 on, I think, yeah, I did it basically as a job, but obviously mainly teaching, you know, playing some cover shows here and there to get some money, but always having my own bands. And back then, actually, the first bands I had were quite heavy stuff, you know. So maybe also because of back in that time, you know, when I was 20, it was end of the 90s, you know, like even if I loved all the classic hard rock acts, it was not really the thing to do. You know, it was more like you had grunge before, and I always also like bands of that genre. You know, I always liked Alice in Chains, for example. They're one of my favorite bands. And then you had all these newer, heavier metal guys like Machine Head. So I made really heavy stuff back then. And it was, from a commercial standpoint, it was not maybe the best choice to get some money. But yeah, I did this and did several bands, you know, in different genres, some power metal, some thrashier stuff, some more proggy stuff. I also played in a blues band, so I always was kind of really, because all of my taste is very, very diverse, you know, concerning this, you know. So I today I can listen to Prince, and tomorrow I listen to Morbid Angel, you know, that's no problem for me. So it's just how I feel, you know. And yeah, and the first band that probably put me a little bit on the, I'd say, on the international scene, there was one band in the beginning of 2000 called Valley's Eve. I joined them for the third album. There was a German proggy power metal kind of band, and that was the first band I toured with. It featured the singer who is nowadays the singer of, maybe you know, Mystic Prophecy. That's a German power metal band.
Mystic Prophecy.
And we did. That was, for example, the first bigger show I did in Greece on Crete Island. We played a festival. Actually, Udo was the headliner.
You see?
Because, and that was, I think, 2002. We put out this album, but after that, the band, we didn't split, but the singer formed Mystic Prophecy, and I did different things. I'm not sure what I did. It's so long ago. And then the next thing that probably I got noticed for was joining Bonfire. In the meantime, you know, between that Mystic Valley's Eve album and joining Bonfire, I did 2 instrumental albums, with also, you know, very specific for guitar fans, obviously. And to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan myself of instrumental albums. So because, you know, I often think they're just, you know, made to show off some technical skills, which is cool. But you know, my goal with the 2 albums was to play songs without vocals, but the guitar basically takes over the part of the vocals, so plays the melodies, and the song structures are very clear. So that's one of the positive things for these 2 albums, was that many people that are not guitar players liked it, actually, because they said, okay, it's nice music. There's some ballady stuff on, some heavier stuff, but yeah, but obviously that it's not made to get some big recognition, because you're very underground with doing instrumental music. And then I joined Bonfire end of 2014. And since then, you know, was really, really busy, you know. I think since 2015, when the first Bonfire album where I played on was released, until now, I think the last 5-6 years, I did like 12 albums or something, you know. So lots of stuff. We played with Ian Pace live, where also met Ernesto. Formed Sainted Sinners. Then I formed another band, Dark Blue Ink, which is more of a proggier band, but also features some people you might know. It's Göran Edman on vocals, who sang with Yngwie Malmsteen, and Hal Patino on bass, who was with King Diamond. But that's more of a, it's not metal, but it's more proggy. It's very long songs. It's very also very diverse, but total different thing than Sainted Sinners, for example. But I need these kind of things for my creative outlet. That's the thing. Because sometimes I take the 7-string guitar and I have some riff ideas, and obviously the 7-string riffs won't fit Sainted Sinners, or neither they would fit Bonfire, but maybe they fit then Dark Blue Ink. So so I have all these bands which I totally love being with to create different kind of moods and vibes music wise. And luckily now we put out the third Sainted Sinners album December, and yeah, I'm just again super happy about it.
Well, and thank you guys for introducing yourself to the good people in the chat, and a little about your musical backgrounds. Thank you so very much. My next question, I would definitely say, would be Ernesto. Do you have, what is your favorite instrument to use and why?
Well, actually, of course, the Hammond organ, because I can feed and free my soul with that instrument. It's magic. It's of course I prefer the real stuff, but on tour it's not easy to have it. So I have to use a clone, and I have a good one, of course. And it's really expressive, and it fits perfect in rock music, and of course it's used by a legend like John Lord, like Don Airey, like Brian Auger in other kind of music. That it's one of my favorite keyboard player, and that's it. I think the Hammond, I privilege this instrument because of his soul, his power. You feel the power under your hands, That's it.
Well, Frank, do you plug directly into your amplifier?
You mean for recording or for live? Or
for live? For live.
Yeah. I'm very old school when it comes to equipment, and to be honest, I'm I like guitars for their look, because they're beautiful instruments, and amp wise, amp is just, for me, it's just a thing that makes a sound, and hopefully a good sound. So when I have an amp that I like, and I always do the same. I put everything on 12 o'clock, okay? On 12 o'clock, not 11. on 12 o'clock, go direct into the amp with the cable, and if the amp sounds okay this way, then it's an amp I can use, and then I can dial in a little bit more highs or mids or whatever. But
just a little, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. No, honestly, I'm not super interested into gear. I like guitars, but if I have a guitar and an amp that they make the sound I want and they work for me, then that's it. I'm not too overthinking things. And sometimes people. I'm quite embarrassed actually, because people, they know things I cannot even answer them, because hey, you have to try this plug-in with this thing and whatever. I don't know, I always was the guy, amp, cable, guitar, play. I always took more time, finding the right sound by playing than by dialing in things on an amp or whatever. And into an EQ or something. So yeah, to the answer, I use Laney amps since 2015. It's a legendary British brand from the same place as actually Marshall started, and I cannot say enough good things about these amps. They super solid build, they sound great, they do exactly what I want, they look cool, and even if there may be some more high-tech things out nowadays, as you know, as long as I can allow to use these amps, I will do, you know. And same with everything else, you know. For me, it's like if I come to a festival, it must work if they put in there a good amp, you know, cabinet, one cabinet, able guitar. You know, I have to be able to play like this, you know, and that's the way I learned it to play, and this is the way it works for me. And I rarely use any effects, you know. It's just little nuances, maybe a delay for a solo, maybe an octaver here, maybe a wah-wah. That's it, you know. Very, very, very basic, you know. So amp-wise, Laney, guitar-wise, Paul Reed Smith. For me, the perfect instruments. I cannot say enough good things about these instruments, and thank the companies enough for letting me use the gear. So,
well, yeah, you know, it's what I hear in my head is music, and what I feel is the power. And I said it before. I gotta say it again. The truth behind Sainted Sinners music, and the genuine love and honor and dignity and respect that goes into writing and recording, especially one of my top favorites right now, Standing on Top. And it's when I watched the video for Standing on Top, and I saw, you can see the truth between everybody, and you could see the camaraderie, and you could see the sincerity of the band, and it's something I haven't seen for a while, and it's just so, it's a beautiful thing, you know. And it's my hope, and it's my wish that more people understand and see what I see. Maybe not to the depths that I see, but understand what I'm trying to say here, instead of somebody just going, "Oh yeah, Dreamer, he's just babbling." Well,
well, there's a, you know, if even though I'm as you can say from the wall of CDs and vinyls that I have behind, even though I'm a CD and vinyl guy, I think if you have to think the fact that now music is so easily available,
yeah,
meaning it's there. If you have a phone, you'll have it. You can have a listen to it. So I think all we need is that to have people just like you who just encourage people to have a listen. That's and then let people decide if they like it or not. They don't even have to go to a record store. They don't even have to think about buying it, because you can stream it. You can stream it legally by using, you know, the digital platform. But the only thing we need is that to let spread the word and let people know that there is an album that may, you know, you may like, and I can't be too grateful for you to spread the word and to be so, you know, so enthusiastic about it to a degree that even meaning if I wasn't in the band, but I've been, you know, seeing this live thing, the stream, this live interview. By the look at your face, I would give it a try to Sainted Sinners. Meaning, I would give it a try.
Well,
how can this man be so wrong? He's so enthusiastic. I'll give it a try.
It's the truth.
Standing on Top. Let's listen to this song. Let's give Sainted Sinners 4 minutes of my life and listen to Standing on Top. And I'm pretty confident. I'm comfortable. I'm so comfortable when I say that. I'm pretty confident that if you like hard rock music, if you like, you know, something that it's genuine, straightforward, simple. It sounds simple, even though it's not simple, because that's the other thing That's one of the other magical thing about Sainted Sinners. It sounds natural, it sounds simple, it sounds fluid, but it's not. Meaning there's a lot of hard work behind it. It's not the kind of music that you can, you know, pick a guitar and play. There's a lot of hard work behind it to make it sound fluid. But that's it. And I'm pretty sure if people listen to it, give it a try, they will like it. And I think there is a especially in these times, these moments, this really, you know, last year and this year is going to be a tough one, another tough year for everybody. And I think music, people don't remember how music can, you know, lift your spirits. Has a great power. So and I think people have forgotten that there is a need of, you know, happy and positive music. And Sainted Sinners is that. It's all about that. It's like me and Frank share a great love for David Lee Roth and Van Halen. Van Halen are one of the top LA, you know, California LA example of how, you know, they make you smile. You know, you listen to Panama and you listen to Jump, you listen to Jamie's Crying or Unchained, and you just feel, yeah, you feel like, yes, yeah, that's it. and you feel like, oh, that gives me the strength to, you know, it make me feel better. And I think and I think the world needs more of this kind of music, or at least, if not this kind of music in terms of genre, needs this kind of attitude in music to be to give positivity, to give happiness to people, to let them share also the fact that even though we are living tough times, you can have you're allowed to smile. You're allowed to have, like, you know, half an hour of something good to make it to me, and that's it.
This thing about thinking that music is easy to play, it's typical of the big names. I remember a lot of time when I have to rehearse a song, to cover a song of someone that I thought it was, oh, no problem, and then, well, it's not as easy I expect, right? And was, you know, I mean,
Well,
then you will find some difficult spot in which it's not easy to play.
It's sometimes because, you know, the real music that from the great bands, you know, we all inspired by, because this music came just from the, you know, just from the spontaneous feeling from the heart, you know.
Of course, yeah,
well,
of course, but
everybody plays just what he feels, and so it's very difficult for somebody else to get the same feeling.
Exactly.
Even if, you know, there's sometimes some difficult things that some bands might do that totally thought of are much easier to duplicate, because, for example, honestly, I think a Eddie Van Halen solo is much more difficult to play note for note as it is some of these super high-tech shredders that you have nowadays on YouTube that are amazing technique wise, but it's very structured, it's very thought of, you know, so easier to just follow. Okay, it's a very cool structure. Eddie, he just did the craziest things he could think of, you know.
but
What he feels.
And sometimes, even if you play a note by note Eddie Van Halen solo, it will not sound like Eddie. While there's other solos, well, it's hard work. You have to, you know, sit down, metronome, practicing. But you will come to a point where you can play exactly the same with some, you know, when it comes down to just being technically difficult. It's not about, but there's no feeling or emotion involved. It's all about sitting down and have the, you know, the strength and the concentration to get it right.
No.
There's music that's meaning, if you go back to time, the first, it just came in mind while I was talking about a band like Pink Floyd. They don't do nothing difficult, but they are one of the most iconic and recognizable band ever. And they play simple chords. It's all about feeling, pentatonic. There's nothing. The drummer just plays the grooves. But how difficult is that? How is difficult to replicate being 4 people, that perfect chemistry?
What about the Beatles? What about the Rolling Stones? Is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that's so true. When I'll just speak for myself, when I think about when I put on a video or I put on some music or I pick up a guitar or I'm sleeping, I have a dream, there's just a certain continuity and a certain spirit that really reaches out to me and captures my heart and my soul. And the very first time I heard Early Light of Day, the very first time that I heard gosh, all of them, the first time I heard the complete release from beginning to end, I just knew. I knew. I grew up on the Jimmy Pages, the Jimi Hendrixes, the Paul Kozloffs, the all the way to the Joe Passes and the Lindsey Buckinghams, the Randy Rhoads, the Eddie Van Halens. I mean, that was all my musical upbringing. And when I heard, Sainted Sinners for the very first time, that took me right back to a place that I missed, a place where I'm at home, and a place that I missed, and a place that I have a longing to be. And that's the power of truth. That's the power of sincerity, simplicity, honor, and truth through music. And Sainted Sinners has that. And I will always be thankful and grateful and honored to listen to Sainted Sinners music, because it just keeps my mind and my spirit and my soul, my heart, my essence in a real happy place where I know that I'm home and I'm safe and I'm honored, and it's all because of Sainted Sinners music.
Thank you so much.
It's the truth,
I would say something that maybe something that you can feel when you listen to the album. It's a background, because it's something that special for young musician, and in these days when they want all, very quick, so you miss this background about all the music that you heard, all the music that you play,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think you can feel our background in the music.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so.
It's like this kind of musician that you mentioned are pushing us to play, somehow.
Yeah, that's correct.
Sorry for my English. I try to do my best. It's not so good. But
totally right. Yeah.
The other thing is that we don't try to emulate. You can. The other thing is, and in a way that you can clearly hear which are our our favorite bands. You can clearly which are our influences. But we're not afraid of showing what we've been listening through for all our lives.
Yeah.
But in a way, we're not even intimidated by that, because it's now being part of us. We're not, as I say, we're not copying, we're not emulating. It's simply that it's part of our experience now. The fact that we've been listening to that kind of those kind of classics of the past, but still, I think we managed to to put our own personality, to mix and to like, it's like a cocktail, meaning it's always gin and there's always vodka and gin at some point in the cocktail. So that's that. But a good cocktail is where you recognize the gin, you recognize the vodka, but it sounds fresh and it's nice, and it sounds different from any other cocktail that you've been tasting so far. So that's the same thing about Sainted Sinners is you know exactly where we come from, you know exactly which are our heroes, but at the same time it is something new where our personality can show off.
Yeah,
and be shared. That's the other thing. We want people to enjoy our music. We don't like to play for ourselves. That's the other thing. The minute we play for an audience. We're not show-offs, musician that simply want to accomplish their egos by proving themselves how good they are. We think about song, we think about recording songs, and the minute we record song, we think about this is going to be played in front of an audience, and we can't wait to see the reaction of the audience, because that's, as Frank said, we do this for this reason, because we want to stay in front of an audience. We want to have that communication. We want to exchange feelings, emotions between us and the audience.
exactly.
Well, the this show is being broadcasted on Facebook right now, on my page, and on my guitar page, and on YouTube, and is also being shared with Curtain Call Productions, who I am now starting a new partnership with, and also the Essential Guitarist group on Facebook, and where I'm a moderator at. And I just want to say thank you to Essential Guitarists and to Bill Eagleson for sharing this show, as well as all the rest of my shows. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you to Curtain Call Promotions.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you, guys. The what I don't know if I asked you, Frank, or not. I'm not too sure, but I'll just ask, and if I repeat myself, I do apologize.
No problem.
What is who would you say are your musical influences?
Ooh. It's a long one.
Maybe you make a season out of this.
It's season 1 with Frank, season 2 with me, and season 3 with you.
It basically looks kind of like the same as in Jack's place for me here. Not here, but over there, lots of CDs and vinyls and everything. And as said, I have a so diverse taste, but sometimes things that I might enjoy listening to is not typically the music I would play myself. You know what I mean? For example, I sometimes really enjoy listening to music that has no guitar at all. Maybe just some synth stuff, some synthwave stuff I can enjoy, but there's also some movie scores, soundtracks I can enjoy. There's bands like That Can Dance that I can enjoy, but there's also totally crazy heavy stuff with lots of guitars I can enjoy sometimes. But it's more interest. It's something that interests me, but it's not what I feel naturally in myself to put out myself as music. So, and then it comes basically, as you say, to my influences, and they're not that spectacular. I would say it's, for me, the blues is always the base, for everything rock and roll. So I admire, blues guitar players like Stevie Ray. He's my favorite blues rock guitar player of all time. And he was one of the first guys I really listened to because of skills at guitar and how he played and the feeling. Because when I started, my first ideas on a guitar, solos didn't interest me at all. I was all about the riffs. AC/DC, wow, 3 chords, great. That was all I needed, I thought. But then guys like Stevie Ray, listening to that stuff, made me interested in lead guitar as well, and become a better player than just playing rhythm guitar. But rhythm guitar is obviously also more important than leads, and also very difficult to do good. It's much more important. So yeah, Stevie Ray, obviously Eddie Van Halen, Randy Rhoads. They were the guys from the hard rock metal kind of era that inspired me. Gary Moore, which was kind of like the link in between the blues stuff from Stevie Ray and the more crazy stuff Eddie would do. You had Gary Moore, who was like a very high energy blues rock guitar player. And then obviously also people that were inspired by these guys, that came, so to say, in the second generation, people like you come back to the Tigers guys, that John Sykes, he was a guitar player in Tigers of Pantang, who were inspired by Randy Rhoads and Gary Moore. He was totally near this, and he was like the next level, so to say. And I, to be honest, from to get to a certain technical level, I had my Yngwie period, so where I thought I had to play neoclassical stuff, but that obviously helped me a lot to become a technically better player, or to be able to transport what I hear in my head, to be able to play it, to these guys. And then again, the guys that came after Yngwie, like Marty Friedman, but also, as said, not typically just hard rock guitar players. Also Prince, I think, is a phenomenal guitar songwriter player.
Yes.
And I always admired guitar players that are great guitar players, but also great songwriters. David Gilmour, for example, Jeff Beck, so many, but I think I mentioned the most important guys for me. One that gets totally overlooked, which I love to death, is Frank Marino.
Mahogany Rush.
Rush. That's wow. That's also great stuff. And then also, some more jazzy guys sometimes, even if it's not typically my stuff, but I just enjoy listening to it. Like Frank Gambale, with sweep picking. Also, I try to. So I take so many little things from here and there, but I think to a certain extent that's a good thing, because then you can become your own. If you just try to be one guy or two guys, or then you maybe become just a clone of somebody. All these guys and many more. Jimmy Page, shouldn't forget Jimmy Page, obviously. Tony Iommi as well. All the great riff and songwriting masters. Yeah, these are all my influences and many more.
When Jack, when you're writing lyrics and when you're singing lyrics, when you're trying to tell the story of a song, when you're trying to send a message, what would you say? How does that process touch you?
Well, it's so natural, at the same time so difficult to explain, because first of all, I have to be inspired by the music. So, like, for instance, for Standing on Top, I was listening to the song, and normally what happens to me is that I if a song click to me, to something, I need to have some phrases. I need to have some words to start working on the melody. And I don't know why, but the first thing that stuck to my mind is that normally, 99% of the time, is the thing that remains. And so that's it. And then I have to say I'm very quick. I'm very quick, and I'm very quick in writing. And sometimes I write things, and I actually, even when I read it and I looked at it and I read it, just what the hell I was thinking of while I was writing. But at the same time, that allows me to give them. So it's like at that point, it's like it must be something unconscious. So, and that allows me to kind of think about it even more deeply, to say, okay, I'll give an explanation. There's a good example, because there's a good example like Stone Cold Sober. I don't know why I started writing a song about New Year's Eve, probably because unconsciously I was dreaming of, getting to the end of this 2020 as quick as possible. And so I was inspired by the fact that, okay, let's think about New Year. It's going to come. It's going to be, there's going to be a day when New Year's Eve is going to be there. It's going to be the day. So that was it. And the other thing is that it's like, in some cases for this album, there's songs like Farewell to Kings that even before I was listening to it, I was trying to get some melody that those two guys right below me in the video just came up with the idea, saying, look, let's make it, it's clearly inspired by Led Zeppelin. So why don't we just, why don't you, are you okay? Are you fancy of liking the idea of writing a song about Led Zeppelin, so that we don't even go, everybody will know it's clear. Yes, it sounds a bit like Led Zeppelin, but it's a song dedicated to Led Zeppelin. And that was the key for me. It was quite challenging to write something, also because it's one of my favorite bands of all time. So I knew exactly. So it was my time to pay a real real honor to the band. But I don't know. It's like there's another good example is like the what is it? Free to be like Free to Be came out. It came out like so instantly. I felt I think that song has such a big power. Meaning the groove kind of. I think it is. I don't do exercises that much, but I think it would be it's perfect for doing exercise. Going to the gym and doing exercises, because it's gonna have that kind of groove. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. and it immediately made me think about this song has to have I have to find a way to put like a statement. So Free to Be. And also because obviously I was in lockdown, so that we were not allowed to go anywhere, and you have to be stuck in house. That maybe had been like some kind of inspiration. So it's basically what the vibe that I hear, that I breathe around me. Sometimes I use music to just if I feel sad, or if I feel angry about something, I found it works for me to write angry lyrics, which are the best way to just, okay, I'll put them in a song, and I'll just take them out of my chest. And so, and the minute I do it, I feel liberated, and I'm okay. I'm okay with the world, and so it's a very physical thing for me. I would love to be as good as Bob Dylan, but I'm not as good at Bob Dylan. So I leave to Bob Dylan to write, very important lyrics, and to write things that will make people think. I would love to, but I don't think I'm able. I don't have that much. I don't have that skill. Probably I don't even have that ego to let people know how they should do, what they should do, how they should think, or how. And I'm more the kind of singer who wants to let the people know that I'm having a good time, and that I enjoy what I what I do, and that the other thing that I speak and I tell story that I know, that I personally went through. I'm not preaching, basically. So if you can agree on what I say or not, but at least it's me. I recognize myself in what I'm saying. Hello, who's that?
Fruitcake
Tony. Fruitcake Tony.
Fruitcake Tony. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
I would like to introduce Sainted Sinners to you, Fruitcake Tony. Thank you for being here.
Fruitcake Tony.
You sound tasty.
Nice, Nick.
Yeah,
Thank you for being here, Tony.
That's just great what Jack said, because that's exactly what we are about. You know, I always wanted to make clear we are not a political band, or we're not preaching, as Jack said. You know, how do you say? You know, we take what we do serious, you know, to make it good, but we don't take ourselves too serious. So
exactly.
And that's what for me rock and roll is about. And obviously there must also be the things like Bob Dylan they talk about, you know, like things that have to be said, but for me rock and roll was always about enjoyment, you know. As Jack said, like Van Halen, the band that you just hear a note and you just feel good, you know, you just feel sitting on the beach with a good drink, enjoying life, you know. And especially in these days, I think life is so serious, and there's so much, you know. If you put on the news, you know, which I don't do, because then you feel much better if you don't. Then you hear so much things which are not right in the world. Of course, you can talk about these things in your music, but that's one thing you can do. But the other thing is just let people escape from that and just enjoy life, because you know, you never know how long it will take, your life. So so better enjoy it. Then I think
exactly.
And better do it with just music that gives you a good vibe.
So happy 2021, Tony. So if I may ask, if it can be shared, what is the story or the inspiration behind Standing on Top?
Oh God. I'll take some time to first, Frank. Just tell Frank. I have to get back though. Yeah, I have to go to Frank and tell.
You know, from a
musical standpoint,
from a musical instrumental standpoint, you know, as said, I never think too much when I write a song. That I don't. Let's say I don't have a plan. You know, it's not like, okay, now I'm gonna write the 4-minute commercial rock song. Now I'm gonna write the epic tune. It just evolves like this, you know. So you have an idea in your head. You hear something, you play it. Okay, then you play on. Then you think, oh, this might fit with this. So it totally comes like a jam, you know, like a spontaneous thing. The thing starts, and so that's all I can basically say about all the songs. You know, they're not planned in a specific way, music wise. They just turn out how they evolve, you know, during the writing process.
Well, I'll say with Jack's delivery of the vocals, and you're looking right in the camera, Jack, and when you sang the verse, you know, about being unique and about letting people see that you're unique, and even when you're alone, to breathe, and it's okay, and work for your goals, and show people you're unique. Let people see that the beautiful side of this is what the message I'm getting from it. Let people see the beautiful side, and the things that make a person unique. Let people see that. Let that light shine.
There's a misconception about ego. because sometimes, you know, ego is it has been so a lot of people that think that having an ego is a bad thing, but ego is also about your expressing yourself and your personality. Obviously, now we have ego. Now is meant is what people think when they think about ego is somebody who's using his personality to against people, against other people. Okay, using his power. It's not about that. It's about being proud of yourself, being knowing where you stand, knowing that you can get, and there is nothing wrong in, you know, thinking that you can become a better person, and you can work hard to feel better, and as the song says, be able to be standing on top and feel like you're standing on top of your world, and you're enjoying your world. It's not about, you know, letting people down. It's about, you know, working hard for yourself, because and this is something that people, I'm just like Frank. I do singing lesson with mainly teenagers, and there's a lot of lack of personality. You have to work even before starting to give them singing lesson. You have to get to know them, kind of getting tough. And the first thing that you realize that they are afraid to show their personality, because they want to be accepted by everybody. And there's a lot of work that I feel I have to do in terms of letting them then letting their voice out, to let them know that you can be part of a community by being yourself. There's no need to think that you have to disappear and be just one of the crowd. You can be one and still be in the crowd, but you still have to find your way to do it. So that's meaning that the inspiration that came from. So it's about this thing, and obviously it's a happy song, and I'm glad that you can get. I like lyrics that have different levels. You can get it as a party song, but if you want to, if you take a minute, you can get, you know, you can get to the next level. And so again, it's easy, but if you want to, there's more in it. There's more concept. There's more.
Believe in yourself is the message.
Yes, which is something which is. But and believing in yourself, it's a lot. It will take too long. But I keep on saying this, and then sometimes I feel like I'm getting really old by saying the same things. But I keep on saying that due to all these X Factor and all these musical programs, music has never been so much on, you know, in the media. But I always feel in the wrong way, because again. It makes you think that that kind of progress. It makes you think that it's just a matter of luck, of kind of, you have to have talent, but then it's just a matter of luck. There's not anymore the idea that there's behind a musical career, there's been hard working. Yeah. And because hardworking in terms of, you have to have your up and downs, and you have to develop your personality, and you have to find how to write a song, and before writing a good song, you write horrible songs. There's hundreds of horrible songs that we wrote in our past years before saying, oh, I like that. I don't think anybody has the first song that came up with the first song like say, oh, it's, you know, fantastic. It was fantastic for 15 minutes. Then the day after, say, "Oh, what I wrote, it's shit." But all these programs, they just give you the false idea that it's all about, you know, it's one. The other thing is that I hate is one. You know, you win or you lose. It's not life. It's not like this. That life is a constant challenge where you sometimes win and sometimes lose. And sometimes you think you're losing and then you're winning. It's a complete. It's so much various and challenging than you know, being, you know, a winner. And if you're not a winner, then you're a loser. It's I don't appeal to that kind of. I don't appeal to that kind of mentality. I just think, and that's the other thing about Sainted Sinners. We are exactly down to earth. We don't think and if we get to number one ever, we're going to just be happy because we know there's been hard work to get to number one. But we're not aiming. That's not our. We want to be rock and roll stars. That apart from the Italian Stallion, who's already a rock and roll star, meaning, on his own, he's a rock. He wakes up every morning saying, "I am a rock and roll star." So that's
you, Adrian.
Well,
come on, I'm a side player. It's this history of my life.
But you're a rock and roll star.
that leads me to Early Light of Day. What is the story? I mean, the video, I understand that just because of my childhood fascination with Nosferatu and the Phantom of the Opera and tattooed on my back. By the way.
Wow, okay.
Man, peels. It peeled me when I was a kid. It still appeals to me now. The riff and the lyrics, Jack, and the way when you're singing. What, if you don't mind me asking, what was your experience during the creation of Early Light of Day?
Oh well, again, that was It might sound strange, but it was a quite easy and quick song to for me to write, because the songs kind of immediately took me back to the 80s. To the 80s, to the when hard rock and AOR pop. So it was catchy melody. It's like the lyrics are more related to a ballad, but it's not a ballad, if you know what I mean. But basically, is about somebody who don't want to give up and wants to and thinks that it's not right to split. Meaning he wants to prove the other side that they're still worth fighting for what they had. And I remember clearly. I came up straight away with the lyrics for the chorus that was "Don't Give Up," and I thought, oh, that's also a great title for the album, for the song. And then eventually Alice Cooper came up with a song called "Don't Give Up," and I said, okay, no, it's not good. It's not a good title for the album, for the song. So, damn it. And then I don't know what I was reading the lyrics, and Early Light of Day came. The phrase came up to my mind, stood out, and probably because I'm a night guy. I go to sleep very, very, very late. Sometimes, when the sun begins to rise, as I go into sleep. So I know exactly what the first light of day, the kind of feelings that kind of takes you, makes you feel the first light of day. And I thought that it's a quite strong title, and that inspired the video, because Early Light of Day, so vampires cannot see the early light of day, and Frank had, just like you, a great love for horror movies and from Nosferatu, and then he checked with I think it was Volker, right?
Yeah.
And you checked the first thing you have to check: can we use the Nosferatu shooting without being fined? And yes, we can. And then he came up with the whole idea, and Ernesto was fantastic in creating the intro just for the video with the piano, with the typical early 20th century kind of movie soundtrack.
I love that. I love that now. So that's
Yeah.
And with the grand piano and everything, I think it was spot on. And again, that's the other thing magic about Sainted Sinners. Frank was inspired by the title, and he gave some instruction, and then Ernesto said, "Oh, if you want me to do that, why not? I can do the introduction." So we make it something special and different for the video that's not on the album, and that's the chemistry between us. The moment there's always one guy who starts something, and everybody chip in with different ideas and just follow. And I think that's part of that's the great thing of being in this band, is that we all feel part of it. We all feel that we can say something. It's not like there is obviously there is it's like a side band where there's or a side project where when the recordings are done, it's we shake hands and that's it. And it's more like a teamwork, even though we're also in different countries, but it's a team. We feel like it's a teamwork, and we constantly stay in touch, and we constantly think about what we can do to promote the album, and what we can do better, and anything.
Yeah.
Well, that leads me. Thank you, Jack. That leads me to the artwork. Was the artwork conceived in a dream?
No, not really. It was to be honest. My first idea for the artwork was a bit different. Can you still see me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, was frozen again. My first idea for the artwork was something different, I had to say, but totally different actually. And
there you go, right there.
It was a Ernesto naked, completely naked.
Come on, Jack.
With a keyboard, we right in front, just like
No,
Yeah.
it was
Red
more
Hot
like,
Chili Peppers guy with a keyboard.
I wanted more like originally my idea was like a Italo Western kind of movie poster kind of thing, and I had some ideas, but and the guy that made the cover, Manfred Smetana, he also did the first two covers for the first and the second album, and he from himself came with a totally different idea, but it was also something completely different than we have in the end. But that gave me a spark for the idea for this cover, and then I had, I'm totally honest here, I had the White Snake, I think Love Hunter. It's the cover with the snake, and the naked lady, which you see from the back, and I thought that's just a cool cover, but let's make something in that style fitting for Sainted Sinners, because in Sainted Sinners you see in the logo we have the angel and the devil girls, in the first and the last S. You see the silhouette from the angel and devil, and we also want to incorporate this into the cover artwork. So that brought me to basically the idea to use a photo of this angel devil creature with the wings, and but also the horns you see. So it's what the name says. It's all going about angel, devil, the good and the bad. What the band name basically says. And yeah, and in the end it just looks fucking cool. That's it.
Yeah, it's a shit. I can't wait to see the vinyl, because that image on the vinyl will be perfect, because sometimes
one advantage we had, because my wife, she works as a model sometimes, and she had this photo shooting with this photographer in Switzerland called Frank Colby. It's a great photographer.
Okay.
Also concert photography and everything. It's a very, very professional, very good photographer. And he had a meeting with her. And I remembered one picture where she was standing on this kind of thing, you know, on this, what do you call it? Yeah,
That,
you know what I mean. I don't know the English word at the moment. And I thought maybe we can use this photo you know, as the basic motive and then work around it. And that was easy because otherwise, if you first have to, you know, find a model or find somebody, you have to make the photos. So we already had the photo, so it was easy. And Manfred is super creative with, you know, making these landscapes, and I like the idea because I'm also, again, you know, lots of times I'm inspired by movies, and I like the Mad Max movies. So this kind of Mad Max sort of scenery world, I think, was also very fitting, you know. And it was super easy process again, you know. He did send a few drafts, and there were little things where I thought maybe try this, and well,
it proved to work really well. People really liking it because and they kind of fit with the song, meaning with even with the music, because that sometimes that's the problem. Sometimes with cover, you have a wonderful cover, but it doesn't matches the music, so you have like a big contrast. And in this case, even though it's a quite how can I say, epic kind of, you know, epic image, it kind of works because also in the end in the album there's a couple of epic songs like Farewell to Kings and even Hammer of the Gods that kind of fit that kind of imaginary kind of and things, which is great.
And we just got compliments for the cover, you know. So, and that, to be honest, that's an important part of the imagery of a band, you know. Imagine some bands without their covers or the artwork, you know. And I think if you put like the 3 covers from the first to the 3rd album now, even though it's now a new start with a new lineup, but they match quite nicely. Even if I have to say, and that's kind of, you know, the cover for the 2nd album was not what I wanted as a cover.
Okay.
And I'm still not happy with the cover because we had a much better cover, but that's another story.
I hear you.
Yeah, but in the end, you know, even now, even with the cover for the 2nd album, if you put the 3 covers together, they make, you know, they look like a unit. You know, even if they're different, the cover is the logo stays the same, and I think that's an important part I always liked about bands. Also, you know, if they have, you know, take care about the visuals as well. You know, obviously it's about the music first. That's the most important thing. But if the imagery around the music also works, it's even much better. You know what I think. You know, for example, I remember seeing a band way, you know, it's a long time ago at a festival where I had the CD, and I can't even remember the name of the band. It was like a more underground band, but I really loved the CDs, and they did this really epic kind of Queensryche inspired metal, you know, which I totally loved back, and I still love, but back then I was totally into it. And then they came on stage at this festival. I saw them for the first time, and they were there in their like you know, shorts, you know, Bermuda shorts, and you know, it didn't fit the music, you know. Totally, you put out this dark epic music, and then some guys that look like they could, you know, sell some drinks at the beach, you know. So boys, you know, it does, you know, and that this destroys a little bit of the mystery of the thing.
Yeah,
you know, even if nowadays it's anyways completely different because of YouTube and everything. You all the time you see something, you can see concerts, but it's always nice if the imagery around the band matches also the music, I think. And also for merch,
It's a whole meaning we have to it's a package. It's a
I was
package
just going to say
because
that.
you listen with, or you listen also with your eyes. I mean, because you watch and listen when you see a concert, you watch and listen, and it's either completely matching. The only way it works for me is that it's either completely matching or it's completely unexpected. So it has to be the other way around. So what the hell? Okay. let's do some advertising. Yeah.
Definitely, please.
But that's how it works for me. Meaning, and it's but you're right. I mean, it's rock and roll has always had a visual element that you have to follow. It's not just about. It's not just about. Obviously, it's about the music, but I don't think if you go back to big names, there wouldn't be Led Zeppelin without also Robert Plant acting and Jimmy Page dresses and everything. That's it. Or Genesis. Take an example like Genesis. There wouldn't be Genesis without all the Peter Gabriel in clothes, strange clothes and mask and everything. That's part of the whole concept. And without even mentioning Kiss, meaning Kiss went the other way around. I mean, said, okay, let's concentrate on the visual so that people will love us, and then we'll think about the music.
First merch, then the music.
It's amazing. During this whole time, Jack, I hear your voice. I hear your voice saying "Never surrender," and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. Finally, somebody gets it now. I'm like, wow, that's the impact of music. That's the beautiful thing about music, or the melodic line that you play, Frank. The melodic line behind, on top of, standing on top of, and that's the power of music. And that's why music is just so eternal, and it's love, and it's lovely, and it's powerful, and it's magical, and it the music and Sainted Sinners has that. I cannot stress enough to everybody in the chat. As a matter of fact, would it be okay with you guys if I play that video again?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask permission. I because I have that much respect for you guys. So let me break this down for the good folks in the chat room. This is a video that I put together for this band, because this band has reached my heart, reached my spirit, reached my soul with this power of the music and the harmony and the melody and the grooves of the music. Jack's voice, never surrender. It just, it's beautiful, and it's sacred ground to me. To me, it's sacred ground. Everybody in the chat, this is Sainted Sinners.
This is Radio FM HRE, your one. I won't be there. Let's get away from
Sainted Sinners.
Thank you so much. Great video.
There's a lot of songs.
Never say never. Never say never. I never surrender. I must have been listening to another song for that to stick in my head, but never say never. And I truly can't tell everybody in the chat enough. Never say never. Never say never say that you can't be a better person. Never say that you can't love more. Never say that you can't be a better version of you, because we all can. It is in our nature to be a shining light, and it's in our nature to love more, and it's in our nature to want these things, whether we are able to voice it or not. And just never say never, people. And I want to thank Sainted Sinners for stopping by, and
Thank you.
you know, I can't tell everyone enough how meaningful and how beautiful and how sacred that the music of Sainted Sinners is in my house, and for all of those that just heard. We got a comment. I want to see. I like to see what this is. Let's see. It would be Dale Palmer. This is my kind of music. There you go.
Taste.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go. You know, guys, this moment in time, this beautiful sacred moment in time is so important. I know personally, professionally. Thank you, everybody. Is there anybody that the band would that the members would like to give a shout out to or say hello to?
Well, I think to or Jack, you start, please.
No, you start. You're better than me, please.
Obviously, to our two band colleagues and friends, Rico and Bercy, because we are a team. You know, it's the five of us, and they did also amazing work on the album. And we thank our label, El Puerto Records. We also have a very good chemistry with, and obviously all our families who support us by, you know, sticking up with our crazy schedules and our crazy creativity and maybe weird day schedule we have sometimes in the middle of the night. I have to go down to record something because I have an idea or something. And because without them, you know, I think you can just make good, positive music if you're surrounded by good, positive people, obviously. And so that's very important, you know, because we feed off each other, and you know, and yeah. So thanks to everybody, and also thanks to all the fans so far who bought the album, who supported us with, you know, sharing, posting, commenting, whatever. We got so many good feedback for the album, you know, for the songs, and that's obviously, you know, a very, very nice thing, positive thing for us to continue and be even more creative, you know, and obviously thank you for letting us be on the show.
Jack?
Well, I must say thank you, obviously, to the guys in the band, because it was a great challenge, and nobody would expect that this record would come up so well, and that we will get along so well, even though we didn't meet each other. Meaning, Frank made the impossible. He put two Italians in a car and made them drive for 8 hours without even meeting before. So that was a big chat. It could have been the end of the band by by the first day, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen because and the other thing is that I have to thank all the other musicians I play with. Just like Frank, I'm quite a busy guy, and they've been very patient with me. They've been very patient with me because they kind of accept me with for the best, for the good and the bad, and they also accept the fact that I need to express myself in different direction, and they always allow me to be a free spirit in a way, knowing that I will get back home, if you know what I mean. But at the same time, I need to try different things, and it's not because I'm not happy. It's just my way of being happy that I need more. I need to follow my inspiration. And I know sometimes this is not so easy to accept, because obviously you would like to have, meaning it would be wonderful if we could all have one band and make a living with one band, but it's not. It doesn't work anymore. Those days are over. So, but I know it's sometimes it's not easy, and to cope with all these different projects. Just as, and this goes also to girlfriends and parents who doesn't know sometimes where you are, because I am I'm at the airport, I'm leaving. Oh, I didn't know that. When are you coming back? In 2 weeks. That was it expected? No. I actually got the news 2 days ago that I had to go, and this is how is it. And so thank you. The good thing about music is that it allows us to meet people just like you, who are so enthusiastic, and makes our work easier, and makes our work overwhelming, even more than expected, because it's so great to have to know that our music has had such an impact on you and your emotions. So great, thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Stallion.
I will I will thank really thousands of people, starting from the guys, but I will just want to thank you, because it's such a long time I don't hear so much sweet and passion words, for the music. And you too, you have a background. When you talk, I can feel your background, because I can feel that your words come from your heart and from all the music you listen, and really thanks for your passion, because it's not usual. I mean, it's really something special that touched me.
Yeah.
So my thanks is just for you this time.
No, thank you though.
That's it.
Your kindness is overwhelming. Thank you. Thank you.
No, but it's true. You, I mean, really touched me with your words.
Well,
Thank you.
I just believe. I was having a discussion with acquaintance in the various guitar circles about standing true to your faith and what you believe in, and believing in yourself, and knowing that you gotta stay true to yourself first and foremost. And if you stay true to yourself first, and eventually somebody's gonna see that and go, kind of look sideways and go, hopefully make them want to do the same thing. The whole reason why I started everything that I'm doing is because, well, I've lived a long life, and I want to, uh, with many highs and many lows, and like most people, and I suppose, I don't know, but I want to be like Godzilla. I want to leave big deep footprints
Very good.
after I'm gone. I want people to know that this bald American, with this weird name of the dreamer and different beliefs and stuff, he truly cared about people, and he truly wants people to be the absolute best that they could be. See, I could I can share this. And we're live. I'm being totally open and transparent here. My father died when I was 13. And because of that, I had to find my own way. And all through the Pookies and the whiskey in Hollywood and Perkins Palace in Pasadena, I did grow up around Pasadena area. So Pasadena, California. So I was there during the whole Mammoth early Van Halen days. And I was quite young. And Eddie Van Halen was 6 years ahead of me in school. And my mother used to work for a medical center, and she was quite friendly with David Lee Roth's father, Dr. Nathan Roth. So when somebody talks about Van Halen, that's very
That's full circle, meaning we didn't know that, but you see, you see people, the positive vibe connect positive people, and people just like what Frank said, meaning it's if you stay true to what you like, if you stay and you be yourself, and you're not ashamed of being yourself, no matter what, that's what happens, meaning, so we discovered that we have so many things in common without even knowing it, meaning, and we didn't talk about Van Halen before and anything, and it's incredible if you think about it. But that's the problem. That's the magic of music, because it speaks for everybody.
well. I I couldn't have said it better myself. It is universal, and it is, whether it's um, a diatonic mode or a mixolydian mode or a pentatonic mode. Um, it is it is the body and the essence. It it's it's so overwhelming when and that's why, I mean, I promised myself in 2021 I was going to have a new format. So now I make this offer to all of my guests. I want to have a section in the show to where my guests can play live, because I want to give my guests a platform. And that's the whole reason why I started the whole Hanging with the Dreamer thing, is because I wanted people to be able to be themselves and show their heart, show their spirit, show their passion, and let the world see that music is power, music is magic, music is the essence of the air we breathe. And it's so honest, pure, and true. And it's okay to believe in that. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be yourselves. It's okay. Be proud. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of the way your heart feels, and be proud of your soul, and be proud of your faith in music, and carry that torch into the new generation, the new year. And Sainted Sinners has that power, has that esoteric quality, that that's it right there. That for for everyone to embrace, because it's love is free. Love that's meaningful is free, and and honor is to be respected and commended. And my heart, my life, my show, my vision for the year is so blessed and privileged to have you guys on today. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And
It's
I
our
just,
privilege.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our pleasure.
I thank you. I thank you for believing in my show, and thank you for believing in me.
We
It's a
thank you.
fight.
We thank
I
you.
hope that one time we can meet in real life. I mean, that
Yeah.
I
would
would
be
love that. I would love
fantastic.
that. That
We
would
have,
be marvelous. You know.
we have to play in Pasadena because of the Van Halen vibes. So
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
actually, I don't know if he's watching, but my good friend from Las Vegas, Brian,
Mhm.
he's working on some shows. He said,
Brian.
okay.
Really?
Hello,
Yeah,
I
Brian.
yeah.
didn't know that. Good to know.
So then we have
Italian stallion flies to America.
yeah, maybe hopefully sooner than later we can meet in person. That would be beautiful.
Good.
That'd be
Fantastic.
very good.
I think
Very
it's
good.
the best way to end up this. You know, we said so many things, and I didn't know. That's a big surprise also for us too. For we too, we didn't know. Yeah, it would be great to play in America. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I
Just-
would
you
love
know,
to have you guys.
the thing is, sometimes plans have to. You just have to do it. You know, it's the
Yeah.
same with the Sainted Sinners album. You just have to do it. You know, you can't think if it maybe this year is it gonna work. Yeah, plan it. Maybe it's working, maybe not. But if it's possible, we do it. You know, we will.
What
We will be playing wherever you want us. So that's.
what what could you tell the listeners of today's broadcast? Where can they go to buy Saint and Sinners music and T-shirts and merch and merchandise?
Frank, say everything. You are the boss. You know everything. You do
well-
you do the parcels. You do the boxes. So you
Yeah,
know
I-
exactly what you're
yeah.
talking.
I'm the next biggest logistics centrum next to Amazon. No. No, they can actually. We have on Bandcamp. We have our own shop, Sainted Sinners. Just Google, or maybe you can post the link.
Sure.
Right in the chat here, but you will post the link. I think you even posted it already.
In
It's
the
in-
show description box.
It's in the description, exactly. So yeah, that's our official shop where you can get all what we have to offer at the moment, like shirts like this.
Yes, exactly like that.
Then the CD, obviously. You can have also a bundle with the shirt. You can have a hoodie. You can have posters. So just look on the site, and we ship worldwide. And next day shipping, everything is on stock. But some sizes of some T-shirts and some hoodies are already gone, sold out, because everything is very limited. You know, it's like 50 shirts, 25 hoodies. It's so when they're gone, they're gone. You know, that's it. Besides that, you can go to the label El Poeta Records web shop, where you can have the beautiful box that the Italian Stallion showed you. Show it again if you can. You have it?
Sorry?
The
Oh,
box.
yeah. Just a second.
I've
there you
just
go.
sent you. I've just sent you the link. I've just sent you the link. The Sainted Sinners Bandcamp. I just
cool.
went on the internet and I sent it to him, so you have it.
Great.
I also checked it's the right one. You got everything.
Yeah.
You never
Oh,
know
look
what you.
at that.
This is a special exclusive limited edition, which features in the wooden box, which is numbered, so which features yeah, from 5 cards from every guy, signed,
Awesome.
hand signed. Then
that's wonderful.
Then Jack, you see?
Yeah, I'm here. There you go. Rico. Be careful.
It's not easy, guys. Sorry.
Mercy. And dun, 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 dun. And that's the Italian stallion. Even on the shirt, he says his own brand actually. Then the CD obviously, and a scarf, which is also very cool. It's like you can wear as a mask, as a face mask. It's like a biker scarf, and with 2 motifs. You have on one side you have the cover, on the other side you have the skull, which is looking cool. And yeah, and that's very limited. And this you can get at the El Puerto Records web shop, and also you can get obviously the first 2 CDs in a bundle with the new one. So all 3 CDs for
this?
Oh, I can always use more picks.
The pick of the destiny. Is that one?
The pick of destiny. Yeah, you will beat the devil.
Why, Frank. That's why we did so good album. Because you have pick of the destiny. Now it's in your head.
And it's real, like in the movie. And yeah, so either our Bandcamp shop or the El Puerto Records web shop, and you can follow us on. We have official sites actually on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and we have a website, www.saintedsinners.com, where you also again can find all links. So it's quite easy to catch up with us. It's everything is there.
Well, that's wonderful. I wanted to make sure that oh, thank you, Dale Palmer.
Now you're gonna sell thousands of these because of the pick of the destiny.
That's so cool. Oh, I love that. I have that. I'm probably gonna go watch
the nature's
that.
Frank.
I'm probably gonna go watch the DVD this afternoon.
Yeah, you have to. It's so cool.
It's a wonderful movie. I love that movie. Well, this has been enlightening and beautiful and just true, honest. And again, my show and everything that I'm doing has been blessed so much today. And thank you for coming on my show. And thank you, Stallion, and thank you, Frank. And thank you to the singer guy up there, to Jack. And thank you, Jack.
Thank you,
Jack. Your voice and your heart and your spirit, it just screams in the tone in your voice. And
you make me happy. You make me feel like. I mean, that's stupid. When it comes over, that's. I'll start making funny faces because I'm not used to so many compliments. So I'm beginning to start be embarrassed.
That I will tell you this, Jack.
I'm not like the Italian stallion who's very used to having compliments every day
from my voice.
All the women, all the women that he meets.
Well, Jack, and I'm serious when I say you have a spirit in your voice that just captures the listener when you're singing, and you could tell in the tonality in your voice. It's just you're putting every ounce of you into every single note that you're singing, and it's absolutely wonderful. I haven't experienced that since, wow, for quite a long time.
Well, thank you.
And
Thank you.
and
So, Frank, don't fire me, please. Look, say that I'm good. You should keep me. Keep me. Keep me.
well, it's on. I'm just saying, but thank you, thank you. I thank you for allowing me to share my feelings with the band, the members, and I Sainted Sinners. I that name, that name just that name said Will, you know. That name said Dreamer. That name said Hanging with the Dreamer. That name said Guitarist Dreaming 352. You know, I that name reminded me of why I started with all of this in the first place. It's because I'm trying to leave this world on a good note, and I'm trying to just let people know it's okay. It's okay to be different, and it's okay, and be proud of who you are, and be proud of what you love, and be proud of what you believe in, because this life goes by too quick in the blink of an eye. Um, so I thank you, and I I just want to say that if time ever permits again, um, Saints and Sinners definitely has an open invitation to come back
Oh, we'll be there. We'll come. Yeah. There might be
anytime.
some good surprises in in the near future, because we're always thinking about new things to do. Actually, something that even sometimes Frank doesn't know anything about, and I'm watching my friend, my Italian friend, saying, "No, there's things in the can. Yeah, there's music coming. There might be music coming. So."
Well,
Yes, definitely. Will we if there's something new from our side, we'll let you know, and we'll come back and speak about it. We'll be very
thank you.
happy.
Thank you, Will.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Everybody, everybody in the chat, thank you so much. This has been for hanging out. This has been an enlightening and very enriching moment in my life and in the life of Dreamland Studios. And thank you for hanging out, everybody. And go check out their merch shop. Go check out their labels merch shop. Go check out their merchandise. We all got to stick together, everybody, because we are in such a bad time, and we need to stick together. We don't need to tear each other down, and we don't need to smash the other person. We need to stick together and stand together as one, because that is the only way that our music is going to survive and is going to live and is going to grow and make it through this dark time that we're in. Is let's
Very well said.
love each other, respect each other, honor the people in our lives, and stick together, be together, because life's just too short. Life is just too short. Um,
You're right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you again.
Thank you, Stallion. Thank you, Jack, the man with the golden voice. And Frank,
Ciao.
thank you.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
All right, everybody. Next Thursday, I got Mike Guitars coming up, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then I'll have more announcements. And I will have more announcements on behalf of Curtain Call Promotions at that time for the next 4 shows coming up after that. Thank you, everybody. Stay inspired and be kind. Be good to one another.